should never, ever answer a knock at your door at 3 a.m. But if you do, make sure it's actually a person knocking.
Who the hell is banging on my door right now?
The knocking wasn't loud, it wasn't frantic, it was wrong. 3 slow taps, then silence, then 3 more. Like something was learning how to do it.
All right, I'm coming.
He swung the door open, the porch light flickered. No one was there. Just the empty street, the cold wind, and...
What the?
A single, muddy footprint right in front of the door. But it wasn't a shoe. It was long, too long. The toes were stretched like claws.
Okay, nope, not dealing with this.
He slammed the door, locked it, bolted it, but the knocking came again. Tap, tap, tap.
I swear to God, if this is some prank...
He yanked open the door again. Still nothing. But this time, the footprint was inside his house.
Oh, hell no.
The air turned thick. The walls creaked. And then...
Help me.
A whisper, right behind him. He spun around. The hallway was empty. But the voice came again.
You let me in.
Who are you?
The lights flickered. Shadows stretched down the hall, and at the very end, a figure stood. Too tall, too thin, its head tilted sideways, like a broken doll.
You shouldn't have opened the door.
Get out of my house.
He grabbed the nearest thing, a lamp, and hurled it. The figure didn't move. The lamp passed right through it.
Too late.
The floorboards groaned. The walls pulsed like they were breathing. And then...
What is that smell?
Rot, thick and sour. The air was suddenly wet, like the house was sweating.
You let me in. Now I stay.
The figure took a step forward. Its limbs bent the wrong way. Its fingers curled like spider legs.
You know what's... I always love my...
He bolted for the back door, but when he grabbed the handle, it was sticky. He looked down. His palm was covered in black sludge.
There's no way out.
The sludge dripped from the ceiling now. The walls wept with it. And the figure...
I'll be back.
It lunged.
Hey,
He crashed into the basement, landing hard on concrete. Above him, the hole in the floor sealed itself like melting wax.
what the hell?
The basement was pitch black. The air smelled like wet earth and something older, something hungry.
You can't hide.
Her voice came from everywhere at once. The walls, the ceiling, even the darkness itself.
Who are you?
You know me.
A single light bulb flickered on, and there in the corner stood the figure. But now, in the dim glow, he could see her face.
Oh my God.
Her skin was stretched too tight. Her mouth was sewn shut with thick black thread. But her eyes, they were his eyes.
You forgot me.
Reason. I don't know you.
Yeah.
The thread on her lips snapped, one by one. Her jaw unhinged. And then...
You left me here.
the walls started bleeding. Not blood. Something thicker. Something alive. It slithered toward him.
No.
He scrambled back, but the sledge wrapped around his ankles like hands.
Now you stay too.
The light bulb burst. The basement filled with a sound like 1,000 whispers all at once.
Stop.
And then, silence. A single drop of water hit his forehead. Then another. He looked up. Their cold hands grabbed him, pulling him into the dark. The sludge rose like a tide, swallowing his screams. You should never, ever trust a reflection that moves on its own.
What the hell was that?
The man stared into his bathroom mirror, his breath fogging up the glass. His reflection stared back, but it was still smiling long after he'd stopped.
No, this isn't happening.
The reflection tilted its head, its grin stretching wider than any human mouth should. Then it raised a finger to its lips. Sure.
Oh, God.
The mirror shattered, not from the inside, from his side, as if something had punched through from his world into the reflections.
Run.
He bolted from the bathroom, but the hallway stretched longer than it should have. The walls pulsed like they were breathing, and behind
You can't hide from us.
a voice, soft, mocking, coming from inside the walls.
Who's there?
No answer. Just the sound of something dragging itself through the dark, something with too many joints.
We've been watching you for so long.
The man's phone buzzed in his pocket, a message from an unknown number. He didn't want to look, but he did.
Turn around.
His blood turned to ice. Slowly he turned. A woman stood inches from his face. Her skin was wrong, stretched too tight over her skull. Her eyes were black pits, and she was holding a mirror.
What do you want?
You looked. Now you're ours.
The mirror in her hands showed his reflection again, but this time, it wasn't smiling. It was screaming.
No.
The woman lunged, the mirror shattered, and the man's scream was cut short.
And who's next?
The camera, your camera, flickers. For just a second, your own reflection isn't alone. Something stands behind you. The next morning, the man's apartment was empty. No sign of a struggle, no broken glass. Just a single, fogged-up mirror with a message scrawled across it in something dark and wet. A neighbor, a young woman, knocked on the door. No answer. She peeked through the window.
Hello? You okay in there?
The apartment was silent, but the bathroom light flickered.
Weird.
She turned to leave, then froze. Her own reflection in the hallway mirror wasn't moving with her. It just stared.
What the?
The reflection raised a finger. Shh.
Nope.
She ran, but her phone buzzed before she reached the stairs. A single word from an unknown number. Against her better judgment, she did. The screen showed her reflection, but the eyes were hollow, the mouth was open too wide, and behind her, the neighbor screamed. The phone shattered in her hand, and from the broken glass, something crawled out. The last thing she saw was her own face, grinning back at her from the shards. 2 days later, a detective stood in the empty apartment, flipping through a missing persons file. The air smelled like copper, and something wrong.
No forced entry, no signs of violence. Just these damn mirrors everywhere.
He wiped sweat from his brow and caught his reflection in the hallway mirror. For a split second, his reflection didn't blink when he did.
He did? The hell?
He leaned closer. The reflection leaned closer too, but its pupils were too large. Black pits swallowing the iris whole.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
The detective stumbled back, drawing his gun. The reflection didn't move. It just smiled. And then... From inside the mirror, like fingernails on glass.
All right, screw this.
He fired. The mirror exploded, but no bullet hole appeared in the wall behind it. Just darkness, a thick, inky blackness that pulsed. Every mirror in the apartment fogged up at once. Words appeared in the condensation, scrawled by invisible fingers. The detective's radio crackled to life. Dispatch calling. But the voice wasn't human. He didn't want to, but mirrors surrounded him, and in every single one his reflection was already turning for him, grinning with razor teeth.
I'm not going to make it out of here, am I?
The reflections answered in unison, their voices merging into one. The last thing the detective heard was the sound of shattering glass from inside his own skull. The apartment sat empty for weeks after that. No tenants, no police, just the mirrors.
Charming place, isn't it? Lots of natural light.
The buyer smiled, unaware of how every mirror in the house had already tilted slightly toward him, unaware that his reflection was studying him, learning him, with hungry, hollow eyes. Too late. The buyer was already staring into the medicine cabinet mirror. His reflection blinked first,